I haven't done anything age group based ever, so it's a bit like going into an unknown again, but equally I feel quite a lot more prepared. Like I feel like, and I think previously I had all these things like imposter syndrome. I can't do this, I can't do this, but now I'm like, I 100% can do this, I deserve to be there. Do you know what I mean?
That's the voice of today's guest, Jo O'Regan. And Jo has come from a running background, basically. Fascinating crossover. Former elite marathon runner, and she had wins in Chester, New Forest and Edinburgh, and podiums in Manchester and London, and marathon PB is 2:40. She represented England and was invited to the Olympic Trials before injury changed everything, and it was that injury that pivoted her first into swimming and then into cycling and then ultimately into Ironman. Her superpower was still her run, but her swim, very unconventional. Look out for that discussion. So I hope you enjoyed Jo's story. That's coming up. So it's Monday morning, 15th of December, when I'm recording this, and we've literally just got back from the T100 World Championship Grand Final in Doha, and we got in late last night. We were out there for 5 days. Never been to the Middle East before, didn't really know what to expect, and I've got to say it was absolutely brilliant. We really, really enjoyed it, and the whole event was amazing to watch live. Never seen a T100 live before. We've seen World Championship Grand Finals live, but not this one, and it was just amazing to see. And the Brits did fantastically well in the ladies, and it was nice to see Kate Waugh take the crown after such a stellar season that she had. And it was also great to see Hayden Wilde win the men's, because overall, from the injury that he sustained earlier in the year, he's just dominated, apart from that one mistake that he made last time out. So yeah, really, really enjoyed that race. And then Mrs. C was managing the GB T100 inaugural team at the T100 race distance World Championships. Never been put on before. A collaboration between T100 and the World Triathlon Organisation. So it was just a full-on day for Mrs. C on Saturday. She was up with the larks because the first swimmers were going off at 6 o'clock, and so it was a full day for her. But she thoroughly enjoyed it, and she was in her element, helping people, and we were listening to various stories along the way. It was really great, and I didn't manage to tap anybody up to come on the podcast, unfortunately, but I did get to speak to one of our previous guests, Pete Eggleston, who was episode 130 on this podcast of ours, and it was great to see him in person and have a chat, and it was even better when he won gold medal in his age group, so it was really, really nice to see that. And the Brits did really well overall, medal wise. I can't remember how many they did get in the end, but it was in the 20s, I believe. And yeah, it was just a fantastic event and a fantastic experience being over there in the Middle East. So friendly, so clean, and reasonably priced as well. So if you ever get the chance to go out there and race, I would grab it with both hands. So now we're back in Blighty. Obviously, I've not been listening to any podcasts, so I can't recommend any. And the sport watching has been to a very minimum, literally live at the T100. And so I've got no handle on what's been going on in the sporting world. We're in our own little bubble. So, yeah, not much to report. It was the final week of my winter triathlon training plan. It was week 12, and that too took a back seat, to be fair. It was obviously the final block of 4 weeks in the plan, and the fourth week's always an easier week. Well, this definitely was an easy week. All I managed to do, apart from copious amounts of walking, was to get on a bike in the gym for 30 minutes, and that was it. So, but that's a different story. We'll leave that one for the YouTube vlogs that I've been putting out. So if you want to see a bit more about our experience over in Qatar, in Doha, head over to our our YouTube channel, and you can see the videos on there. So that's it for now, and we're going to get to the main event, and hope you enjoyed Jo's story. Really, really great to chat to her, and we shall see you on the other side.
Hi everybody, my name's Jo. I am a mum of 3 in my now mid-40s. I live in Cambridgeshire, have run a lot, started to swim a bit, bike a bit, moved into long distance triathlon since taking it up.
And what did you do growing up as a child then, sporting wise?
Predominantly running, a little bit of everything. But I was one of those children who, like my daughters now are, who was cross country. And I was always put in like the 800 meters at school and did really well in the bleep test, things that I think we can all relate to as children. And my children certainly now are like, oh, it's the bleep test at running club this week, or my daughter's just got into cross country trials again. So it's funny how history repeats itself.
Yeah, but you're such a great role model to have as a mum.
I hope so. I think my children, my girls in particular, I mean, my daughter's literally, my middle daughter is nearly 12, and she comes and does full swim sets with me. She comes running with me. She's made all netball teams, she made cross country teams, she made swim squads. I think that's because I am hopefully a positive influence on her.
100%. I mean, kids can go one or two ways, can't they? Can either jump on the bandwagon and do what you do, or completely alienate themselves and go the other way.
I think even my son, like, it shocked me the other week. He was like, I'm going to come to I coach junior triathlon on a Friday evening, and he even came down for 2 weeks in a row. He was like, oh, I'm going to come down. I was like, oh, okay, that's really good. It's like really encouraging. He's like, oh, I want to ride my new bike. I was like, unfortunately, it's freezing cold. We're not riding tonight, but please do come down still. So that's really nice, and they've still got a bit of a buy-in, because I think when you do something every day, it becomes normal to them, doesn't it? To see you doing it every day, that they think, oh, I'll go give it a go.
I've had so many parents on saying exactly the same thing. They just see what you're doing, and they know, all right, they might not want to get involved, but they know it's good for them, and they know it's cool at the end of the day, what you're doing, and what we all do.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of go with I would never have seen half of the world that I've seen if I hadn't gone through a pathway, and that's how you make your friends as well, isn't it? You get your friends for life through sports as well.
100%. So just going back then, school, running, how did that progress? You said you did cross country.
To be honest, that's about it. I didn't ever run at county level. I didn't run national or anything at that point. I literally just ran school sports day. My parents weren't sporty at all, so I don't think they knew the pathways that we now know that we could take or give the opportunities to our children. So I just did quite well, at secondary school sports day, etc.
But so how did it develop then? What did you do after school?
I went to uni, came back from uni, thought I'd better start running. It's better start doing something. And I just started running. I lived in a village called Histon, just outside of Cambridge, and just ran literally a mile and a half and then back, and then quite liked it, and then literally just started running. And then I met a group of people through a job I had in Cambridge. So they were like, oh, you should come along to this social running group, which I did. And then from there on, I pretty much ran most of the time. I always won the little awards there, and then I joined a running club and started running marathons and traveling with big groups of people. And I'd run I think I ran one marathon, and I just literally didn't stop until I had my children.
Right.
But I'd never broken as a runner at that point. The holy grail of kind of running as a female at that point is to get championship qualification for London, for London Marathon. And It took me a little while. It didn't take me very long, but I'd never broken. You had to break 3:15 in order to be on the championship start, which I did quite comfortably. But it took me a long time. It took me till after I'd had my children to break 3 hours. So we're talking like a big. So I was by this point like 30 years of age, for instance.
So how many years was that then it took you?
Well, once I basically returned to running after having had the children, having had a 6-year break, like I ran a bit in between. It took me one marathon because someone offered to coach me. They're like, oh, you can run sub-3. And I ran like, I think 2:53 or something straight away. Just a bit of structured training rather than just like running.
So do you think that's what it was then? You didn't have the structure previously?
Yeah, I don't think I was, to be honest, I don't think I wanted it particularly at that point. I just thought it was quite cool to go around all these cities. Like I went to Berlin and I went to Paris, and I still like broke the 3:15 mark, and I still was always on those start lines. But like I'd never broken 90 minutes as a runner, and I'd certainly never broken 3 hours as a marathon runner at that point. So yeah, and I think that's just because I probably didn't train as much. And I think once I'd had the children, like I had at this point 3 children under the age of 4. So I needed some structure in my life. Yeah. So the running is kind of like what kept me sane, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it is, isn't it? It's sport or something else that you need that escape, don't you? And that sounds horrible, I guess. You need an out, you need to release, don't you? And
a bit of fresh air.
Yeah, just to own time, me time, re-energize, which sounds silly as well if you go training for a marathon to re-energize, but you do, don't you? So I saw in your email that you, we might be jumping on a little bit.
That's all right.
You ran for England and was invited to the Kew Gardens Olympic Trials.
Yeah. So once my running took off, it took off really quite quickly. Like I I sort of broke 3 hours, and then it just all the times kept coming down. So then I managed to get on the I was invited onto like the England Athletics Development Squad to go to, it was Toronto Marathon, to run with them and like run on an elite program. So that was really cool. The run there, only run I've executed very well in my life. I went off too fast, like really, really hard, because I was in such great, but I hadn't quite reined it in at that point. But sometimes you have to try. It does go bust occasionally. Like I still finished, but I think I ran like 2:45 and I was in like 2:35 shape. And then we got to COVID and lockdown time. So I was still running, and I was running loads, and I had a coach. He coached me through to basically get the opportunity to run. I was invited to the Olympic marathon in Kew Gardens time. Right. But basically I was running so well, and there was nothing, like you weren't working, so there was nothing really to bring you in at all. And then I got injured. So at this point I'm probably like mid-30s, relatively low weight female runner running like sort of 80-90 mile weeks. And I got stress fracture, so I couldn't start, which was, to be honest, one of the most crushing things of my life. At the time I thought it was the end of the world. Like it wasn't, but it really did feel like it was an opportunity. But anyway, it wasn't meant to be, so I didn't do it. And then I took up swimming because it was the only thing I was allowed to do, because it was non-weight bearing. And that's how I then ended up, the short version of how I ended up in triathlon. But I would jump straight to long distance triathlon, because I've only ever known endurance running, really, like endurance sport. So I was like, I can run a marathon. So then I was getting in the pool and swimming like, 3K most days.
So how did the triathlon come about then? Because obviously you'd started swimming, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? How did you learn about triathlon?
So a lot of my friends, a guy who used to coach me, and a lot of my friends, even I remember this like years ago, and never even thinking, I was just thought they were totally mad. They're like, you should go to Kona, you'd be really good at doing Ironman. I was like, no way, that's ridiculous. Like that's mental, right? Like swimming all that way, cycling all that way, and then running a marathon. And it comes back to bite you, these conversations, don't they? Then another group of friends I kind of became really friendly with, like Sydney, that I live in just outside of Cambridge, is a massive triathlon sort of events going on anyway, because we've got a river, we've got lakes, and it's flat, it's Cambridgeshire. And most of my training group all run, but they also subsequently cycle and swim as well. So we were again chatting, and they're like, oh, I bet you couldn't do a half Ironman. I was like, that's like red rag to a bull for me. I'm like, I bet I could. But I was like, I'm not going to just enter a half, I'll enter a full, because I thought, well, I mean, I literally kind of thought, well, how difficult can it be? Like, not meaning that in a, like, it's not difficult, but just how difficult can it be? Like, what is the challenge of it compared to running a marathon, for instance? So then I started cycling a bit as well, because I was running every day at this point. And so like Kew Gardens Trials were like the beginning of the year. So by the time we get to Christmas time, I'd bought a turbo trainer. So by this point, I was like, okay, well, I'm fairly committed. And I'd entered Ironman Vitoria-Gasteiz in Spain for the July. So I'd got the turbo trainer in the Christmas time. Yeah, and then I did the race in the July.
Right. And was that your first triathlon that you'd done, or did you do some?
No, that is the first triathlon I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're the second, the guest that the podcast I've got coming out on Wednesday. She did exactly the same. She did over in Tenby. They do a weekend where they do a swim one.
Long course weekend. I know it. Yeah.
So she did that, and then she went and did a few sprints, but mainly she did Ironman as well. And she's come back to doing the shorter distances. I think it's amazing how many people actually just think, oh, I'll go and do an Ironman as my first one. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's like I was obviously, well, as most people are, I'm a classic age group at age of an Ironman athlete, I would say. So didn't really think any more of it. And everyone was like, do you not want to go and do a practice one at all? I was like, but I've done so much training. Like, I know how to structure my training. And I'd be like, I can run off the bike. I go for a swim in the morning. I do, my multiple disciplines. I mean, yeah, you kind of learn quite a lot in the first one, transition. My transitions were slow, very slow, I think, in the first one. And I didn't have a tri-suit. I swam in my swimming costume, then changed out my swimming costume, and various things that I wouldn't do now because I've moved to the very sharp end of age group triathlon. But you kind of got to, I think you need to learn these things for yourself. Like, and I was on a road bike. I did a compromise with my friend before I went, put some aero bars on. And I still bought, I think 5:30 around that course. So decent. Like, and I still, and it went really well. So I don't think you necessarily have to have done a shorter distance going into it, but you do need to be prepared.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it's not really about the distance, is it? It's about knowing
your limits and the logistics.
Well, it's about knowing logistically what it's all about. What comes first, second, third, transition 1, transition 2, and all those things. And you can't. It doesn't matter whether you do a sprint or a long, does it? Your first ones, you're always going to be a novice. It's always, things are always going to go wrong or whatever. Maybe not wrong, but not as good as your next one and your next one after that. You just progress, don't you? And you get better and better because you're more experienced, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, you can handle the situations better, I think, as well. I think there's something to be said for like the unknown, because it's just like when you don't know what you're letting yourself in for. Whereas now I'm like I get really like quite stressed a few days beforehand now, because I know what's happening, what's about to happen, and I'm like, oh my word. And like the problem is when you're pushing, sort of redlining your very top end of your limits, how painful that is. Like the rate coming back from Kona this year, I'm still really, it was horrific. Like I've never ever done anything so hard in my life this time around.
Well, I mean, I've never done an Ironman. But watching Kona this year, the ladies, that tells you all you need to know. It doesn't matter. I mean, look at the two ladies who didn't finish, the best of the best. And that tells you, best training, best plans in the world. Doesn't matter, does it? On the day.
It was so, honestly. Yeah. I mean, it's actually coming back and explaining to people the fact that Lucy and Taylor didn't finish. It makes it slightly more relatable this year, I think, because they were like, because I was like, and I am a runner, and it was my run that I fell apart. The heat stroke got so the better of me. It was like I've never had a run like it. I was just, and don't get me wrong, I still didn't take that long to run, but I literally the last 10K I completely fell apart. I was like, it was like death march to the finish, and I was just a bit like, if you don't finish, you're still sat on the sidewalk waiting to somehow get back, and you're still in the heat and the humidity, and you're still fully depleted. So all I could think was, you've just got to push on to get finished, because then you can get to a medical tent and get some kind of liquid and fluids back in you. But it's really tricky. Like, it was a really tough year this year.
Yeah, looked it. I mean, it was in a sad way. It was great to watch because it was great entertainment, but not, you wouldn't wish that on anybody, would you really?
No, I wouldn't.
Just going back to your first triathlon, long distance, how many have you done since then? And how did GB age group come about?
So how many have I done since then? I think I've done 8 now, long distance triathlon.
And what's been your favourite?
Kona the year before last.
Right.
No, so two years ago. So Kona 2023. Like I executed perfection for I think in that race. Like everything went well. But the swim was actually atrocious because at that point I have a very unique swimming pathway, and
I was going to ask you about that.
yeah, we'll come on to that. So I swam that year in Kona, I think like 1:32. But I biked really fast and I ran like faster than practically every pro woman at that race. And I came to overall age group for that one. And then, so that was a great race. And for Outlaw this year, was where I've managed to get which is why I've now got the GB selection for next year's in Abu Dhabi. That I executed to perfection as well, and that was again with my unique swim approach as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about your unique swim, because I've not come across anybody who does this, and that's testimony to you for like doing it, but also having the faith in your bike and your run for it not to make a difference. So just let's hear what you do. Yeah.
So obviously I've done I think at least 8 long distance triathlons now. So I've done quite a few, and I did start the first few I did. The one I did in Vitoria-Gasteiz, the very first one, I think I swam like 1:23, 1:24, which was a fairly solid swim. I swam that front crawl. It went fairly well. And then my swim started getting slower and slower, and I was like, what is going on? And some people say, oh, it's poor wetsuit fit. Some people, it's like you change your stroke. Nothing gelled. Like for me, every time I tried to change something of my stroke to get quicker, because from an efficiency point of view, like I should be able to swim faster than I can, but technically I have no technical front crawl swim skill, so it's not my forte. So I was getting to and then I went to Kona in the 2023 and swam about 1:32, which, to be honest, I was still like not particularly happy with the swim, and I was like, something's got to give eventually. So I basically went back to what I call my roots, because I used to swim a mile of breaststroke before work every day, like Monday to Friday, before I had my children. So probably like 20 years ago or something, 25, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it, and it got back in the pool. I just started swimming breaststroke again and trying to forget everything I'd ever kind of known about front crawl. So I was like, so this year was like my trial year. So I went to started swimming in the lake again when it opened at the beginning of the year, and timed like my laps doing breaststroke or my laps doing front crawl, and they're about the same. The problem is my front crawl falls apart quite quickly once I kind of thinking about it. Yeah, get tired or sort of fatigue a bit. So I can swim a 25-50 pretty rapidly, but I can't swim 4,000, nearly 4K very efficiently. And then basically I went to Challenge Roth and swam. I thought I'll try the breaststroke swim there, because it was just like, what have I got to lose at this point? There's nothing to lose really. You can only really see how it goes. And that was this year it was really hot, so it was non-wetsuit there. So I swam non-wetsuit there in about 1 hour 20 minutes, which was basically a swim PB for me. So I was like, okay, it's pretty good. I think I was possibly, occasionally some people come up and do a bit of breaststroke, but not many long distance. No. Not really, no.
And how does that come across? What do people comment on it, or do they?
No, not really. I don't think anyone really. Well, I thought, because initially I was a bit like, I'm going to look stupid. What are people going to think? And I was like, I just don't really care what people think. If I can get across the finish line faster, like, who even cares? Do you know what I mean?
Doesn't matter, does it?
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah. So I got over that quite quickly. I was like, whatever, just go in and do it. And,
done.
And then loads of people were like, are you really going to do this? Everyone was like, oh, it's quite interesting, that. And it's still not a great swim time, but it's an improvement. And then I went to Outlaw because I basically had a huge mechanical at Ross. So the swim went really well, but the rest of the race, very sad.
It happens.
It happens. It's the first one that it happened. So it's the first one I've had a mechanical, and I was like, this is a real pain. But anyway, so then I managed to get an Outlaw entry, because I was like pinging at this point. I was like, I need a race. So I went down to Outlaw and I swam 1:14 for my swim, but obviously, because a bit chillier in Nottingham than elsewhere.
Yes, slightly.
So obviously it was a bit quicker, and I suspect some of that possibly was because I was in a wetsuit, but also I went in at a faster stage. I went in with the faster guys because I was like, well, I don't really care if I'm used to being swum over, kicked. Do you know what I mean? Like I've kind of gotten used to it. So I was like, whatever, I'll give it a go. I mean, I honestly couldn't believe it when I got out of that swim. Someone was like, you're inside of 1 hour, 15 minutes. So I was like, awesome. Which is getting to more respectable swim time. And then that was the race that I came second female and 10th overall. So that's what I submitted my application with.
How did you come across age group then?
What for the the GB age group?
Yeah, as a thing, yeah.
Well, I think I've always followed it. When you like everybody's. I've sort of started following what people do. And I always see you put all these statistics up for like the shorter distances for age group awards and things. But obviously, Ironman doesn't come into that, or long distance. I don't think it doesn't exist, does it?
No, I guess not.
But I don't know. And then, so I came across these various things, and I thought and then somebody said to me, "Oh, you should put in this selection to represent, age group UK." And I was like, to be honest, my goal is not just to win my age group. My goal would be to win the race. Do you know what I mean? Like win outright.
Fair play.
I'm quite competitive, so I.
No, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, is there? If you know your level and you know what you're capable about, why wouldn't you say that? Why would you not? There's nothing to hide, isn't there? If you think if I
was 10 years younger, I would tweak things a little bit to go pro, but with the way that the family dynamic, my age.
Well, you can't turn back the clock, can you?
No, not at all. And I'm like, I think and the journeys you go on are quite interesting. Do you know what I mean? And you have a really different. And I think you've got to not take it too seriously. You want to do it because you enjoy it. Yeah. So I'll always go to places that I want to go.
Yeah.
Like. I like the heat, so races in warm places like Abu Dhabi, long distance in next year in Abu Dhabi would kind of play to my strengths quite well, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it takes you to places that you wouldn't probably
normally go
to. That's how me and Mrs. C look at it. When we look at where we want to, we sort of like plan a holiday around it.
Yeah.
It took us to places like Romania. We would never go to Romania, but we had a great time. We took the whole family with us and we had a blast. And that's it, isn't it? It's about making memories. Yeah, the race is part of it, obviously, but it's all that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think sometimes the races that don't go as well, ironic outlook, like Kona this year, I was a bit like, I was disappointed because I knew I could have gone under 10 out there, like no problem. But equally, I was like, I couldn't have tried any harder. I've never worked. Do you know what I mean? So certain things, like you get more out of the things sometimes than they don't pan out the exact way you want, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't learn from being right all the time, do you?
No,
you learn from things going wrong and not getting it right, really. So that's how we all develop.
You're always trying to like find what's the next thing to push you to try harder, or not hard, or not like. Do you know what I mean? What your next big thing is that you go like, how do you work out what that's going to be?
Yeah.
If they just all become a bit like, oh, I know I'm going to get this time. If you could predict the outcome each time, there's no point participating really. So I always say like, I'd rather go to a competitive race somewhere where I know you're not going to hands down win something because you've got to you get that performance that way. Yeah, you've got to earn it exactly. Like if you just turn up and go, oh great, I know I'm going to win this. I'm like, what's the point in entering? Because and some people say, oh, why don't you do this race? I'm like. Because you do also, you want to give other people, you do want everyone to have an opportunity to work through these pathways. Do you know what I mean? Like if you turn up to every single local event, it becomes a bit cliche. Do you know what I mean? Like we've got a half marathon in St. Neots. It's great. I've won it before, but I now just pace it and like help other people on their journeys around because I'm like, I don't need to turn up every year and run really fast there. Do you know what I mean? You can do that already. Yeah. You want to give back a little bit if you can.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's a balance to be able to do that. And it's great that you've got that mindset because, I mean, a lot of people would just go out and run as hard as they could and win everything and take it all. And, that's just some people, isn't it? But yeah, it's nice that you've got that.
Yeah. I think I'm lucky enough. I've won quite a lot in my life that it kind of now you just sort of and I think you're trying to not teach, but like you're trying to also, with having a family, you're trying to show them that it's not all about the winning, you know?
Yeah.
Winning's a bonus, don't get me wrong. We all want to win.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are in a you know, the ability that you've got, you're in a fantastic position, you know, because we would, us middle packers would give our hind legs to have a bit of that, to be fair. But it is what it is, isn't it? And, you know, you train hard and you work hard at it, as well as you know, you're obviously got that ability,
yeah, but the training, I mean, yeah, the hours of training is like, I train a lot, like, it is quite I'm quite enjoying life at the minute because it's real downtime. I'm like, just go for a little run or a little swim. I haven't been on my bike since I left home because I can't at the minute. I know that will come right. I know it will change at some point, and I'll go, I want to go get on my bike, but at the minute I'm like, I just can't do it, you know.
And again, it's having that foresight, isn't it, to accept when you're in one of those slumps or whatever, or you don't want to do something, and just accept it and don't do it. Go and do something that you enjoy. For me, it was like swimming. I've only just got back into the pool after 6 months off because I just didn't want to do it. I've got back in and I'm really enjoying it again.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. I'm hopeful that come spring or when there's a bit of sunshine, I'll be like, I really want to get on my bike and I'll love it again. But at the minute, I'm just like, I think my bike's just still in the garage. I don't think I've really looked at it since it came home. I'm just like, I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it.
That's a multi-sport, isn't it? Because there's two other things plus.
Well, that's what you talked about, motivation as well, isn't it? You're saying like what motivates people. It's like it's finding the thing time, because a year is quite a long time in a train, like in a racing cycle. If you're racing quite a lot, to stay like, I don't know, like focused enough or tapped into it, you've got to go through the peaks and troughs and find the things that motivate you at that point. So the minute I really like swimming still, but I'm still got in the pool today. Two of my friends at lunchtime, they're like, you can swim any front crawl today. I was like, today.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, it's brilliant. So you've qualified, you put your time in, because it's different for long distance, isn't it? There's no races to aim at. You put your time in and your time goes against everybody else's, and obviously your time will be pretty good, and you already know you've got a queue.
Yeah, I already got the queue. I think I've like trawled to a lot of the results. I mean, I think I was the fastest one with the queue to go in there. So that's quite encouraging. So I've got that from the off. So at least I know I can work backwards from work the year back. Yeah. The downside is it's really late in the year, the races.
Yeah, November, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much like the equivalent of last week next year. So it's kind of like that is quite you really got to think about that as a long distance athlete, I think, because you can be really burnt out by November.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise. So what is the plan then? So we've got that's a definite. So that's race. Is that your A race next year?
Well, my A race is actually the Medoc Marathon, but that's
obviously a marathon running race. Yeah,
that's a marathon, and only because it's a bucket list race, because it's you win your body weight in Bordeaux wine as a prize.
Right, okay. Medoc. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Medoc in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's an A race, but that should be quite easy to, that's an A running race, I suppose. I'll go to London Marathon I'll go into Ibiza half marathon, and then I'll go into London Marathon in the spring to basically get a bit of speed back, because at the minute I feel a bit flat from just like racing, long distance try. I want to get a bit of speed back. So I'll do those two. Then I'll go to, Medoc Marathon, which is like September time, so then again that sharpens like the run speed again, and then I can basically just cycle through summer to enjoy it and swim in the lake, which would be quite nice. I've got a slot for I've got a place at Barcelona Ironman, but I'm not sure. I could defer that to the following year. That would be a fast race. I've never been to a really fast Ironman race course. Like I've never done a flat kind of. Yeah, kind of, they've all been a bit rolly or a bit climbier, which suits me though. So, but Barca could work quite well then going into Worlds at the end of the year. But obviously, going into that is possible. I need to figure it all out really. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you will. So, is Abu Dhabi your first age group?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
And have you got any other plans?
A bit of an unknown.
Yeah.
Because I've not, so you could give me some advice if you like.
Well, I'll try. What do you want to know?
I don't know. How does it operate? What's the difference? Like, I'm guessing there are less people in a field.
The Worlds is usually, I mean, I don't know about the long distance, but the Worlds is usually the most competitive because obviously it is the Worlds and you get people coming from all over. However, with it being in Abu Dhabi, there are a lot of people
that won't necessarily travel there. Yeah.
Because of, the obvious
I understand. Yeah, no, I understand.
We don't have to discuss on this podcast, but I know for a fact there's a lot of people have refused places and stuff. So there's that side of it. So it might not be as competitive as usual, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. But that's already crossed my mind a little bit. So, but
and I mean, it's like every other race, to be honest. Will you be going on your own, or will you be taking your family? Are you going to be traveling with Nirvana, or are you going to go and do it yourself?
So the biggest issue I have at the minute in life, which is probably the same issue everybody has, is financial. So it's trying to make it the most cost-effective way I can get there. So I'm lucky enough. I've got a couple of friends who are probably both going as well. They're male friends who will probably also both go. Well, one of them's got his Q slot already. The other one, I think, will probably get his in the new year, like in Q2 instead.
Yeah.
So I can basically, I won't take my family. It's term time. Sure. I've got 3 children. Yeah. I'd love to be able to take them everywhere with me. The problem is I quite like to race quite a lot. So they can come down to London Marathon and watch it, get big vibes. I'll take them to some races next year that they can compete in. But it just becomes impossible if you've got to pay, and again, Abu Dhabi's not cheap to go to, still got flights to contend with. If it's somewhere in Europe and you can go in your car, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it isn't cheap, and you're right. And again, it's, I guess, going back to what we said before, going out and doing that's a release, isn't it? It gives you a bit of time away. And,
and it's a bit like, you said, I haven't done anything age group based ever. So it's a bit like going into an unknown again, but equally I feel quite a lot more prepared. I think previously I had all these things like imposter syndrome. I can't do this, I can't do this, but now I'm like, I 100% can do this. I deserve to be there. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel any other way. I think now
you've gone off and done, for what you're racing at, you've already gone off and done Kona. There doesn't get anything bigger than that, does there?
No, I know. I've been to Worlds at Kona twice, so I'm going. So my view is how different is it to that? And I suspect, I don't know.
It'll be smaller, a lot smaller.
Yeah, it will be smaller, won't it? Yeah. So Kona's, So I mean,
Kona's the ultimate, isn't it, in the long distance?
So I won't. And the thing is, the reason this appeals next year is because I'm not going to go back to Kona next year. I can't. I'm just mentally scarred that run. I was just like the heat stroke. And I've done it twice. So I'm like, how often can you? You could continue to go. Yeah. But it's again, it costs a small fortune to go to Kona. It's not cheap at all. It is so worth it. It is an amazing experience. They're memories I've got for life, forever. But I don't, I've done it twice. So how much more can you do? And
it's nice to experience different things, isn't it? And
definitely.
You may well love the age group scene. You may well love racing in the GB kit and everything else, and want to do more of that. Who knows? Until you experience it, you don't know, do you?
All I feel like it's probably a little bit more like when I was running for England in the running territory. Do you know what I mean? When you sent your England kit and you go across and you go do that. I feel like it's probably slightly more like that. So there's that, and then there's running London Marathon. So I put London Marathon is a bit like Kona because I'm not quite elite start, and then because it's bigger, and then you've got you can go and represent England or Great Britain. It's a similar thing to doing the age group.
Yeah,
that's how I kind of.
I think that's
fair.
I mean? Yeah, I think that's fair. A fair comparison, to be honest. But I hope you just love it. I hope you enjoy it, and you want to do it again, because it's a great vibe, and it's a lovely family. You know what I mean? Once you've met people that you're racing with in your age group, and the whole well, in your case, the longer distance people. Triathletes, it's you meet friends for life, like you do in most races, don't you? The big ones like Kona and stuff, you see the same faces go back year after year, and you meet them, and it's the same. GB's the same.
Which is really nice. And I was saying, because I already know, as I said to you, I've got a friend already who's already qualified, so he's already there. So again, that's really nice because I don't see him that often, or mainly actually in training camps in Lanzarote, but we're not there at the minute. So, but you know, and you're like, it's quite nice. So the circles are smaller than you think, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll love it. You'll have great fun. And I can imagine you'll smash it as well when you're over there. So good luck with it. Hey, listen, it's been a really nice story. Really enjoyed talking to you about it. We'll finish off. I don't want to take too much more of your time up. We'll finish off with the quick fire questions, and then that'll be it. So the first one is, what's your favourite bit of kit?
Run shorts.
Run shorts. What type of run shorts do you use?
I've got some Adidas run shorts. They've got a liner. They're black. They're baggy. I would generally, for long distance, I ran in my tri-suit at Kona this year. Probably shouldn't have done. Probably should have changed into my shorts because the heat and the humidity would have probably helped. Just my sports bra on that instead. But hindsight's wonderful.
Yeah. So running shorts, cool. I like that. Very, very simple.
They've got pockets in them as well. So if it's helpful, you shove your gels in the back, Yeah. But
cool.
yeah, it's simple. I think it's,
Yeah, that's all you need. What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, rein it in. Like, you get given loads of advice. But for me personally, it's the not pushing too much always, because athletes have a tendency to push through everything. And I think when you sometimes rein it in a bit, you actually perform better.
And when you say rein it in, do you just want to expand on that? What does that mean?
So ideally you get your training, you think you always should do a bit more. No.
Yeah.
You want to save it for the race. I know so many people that I see out like swimming and they're thrashing up and down the whole time. Everything's a tempo session or everything's threshold session. On a run, everything they're running is at like their maximum effort. I'm like, no. Say maximum effort occasionally, race day only really. And obviously some volume of efforts, but like keep the easy stuff really easy. And then same with a bike, you can go and cycle, obviously a series of efforts, but again, you need your easy days to be recovery days, right? And I didn't used to do this at all, like I used to be like, oh, just charge around everywhere and like just spin for an hour and spin like hard around all the, go everywhere and then smash out a run. But of course, ultimately that's where you either then get fatigued or you're in risk of injury or you're depleted. And do you know what I mean? It's
100%. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We do just because we love it and we just think we can go on and
it's fun. It's more fun running fast, cycling fast, swimming fast, and it is slow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the problem, and that's why everyone does it, because it's fun,
Yeah. Well, they're very wise words, which we should all take on board. What does a week of training look like for you at the moment?
At the moment, I'm running 6 days out of 7. So I have like one long run still, which is like between like 14 and 16 miles, a few shorter runs, one run session. I've just entered a New Year's Eve 10K race actually. So that's going to be like a whole baptism of fire because I've not really run fast this year. So I'm doing a little bit of work for that. And then I'm swimming. I swim every day. The irony is I used to hate swimming and I'm really not much of a swimmer, but at the minute swimming's like my therapy. I find it really relaxing. But I'm not I will reintroduce cycling in the new year. So I probably do about 10 hours of training a week at the minute because I'm in kind of like downtime mode. And I want one gym session a week as well. I do like a gym block, 4 months solid gym block, like 1 to 2 sessions in the gym a week to kind of like try and bulletproof myself for the year that follows then.
Yeah, well, sounds like you've got it all worked out, got it sussed.
Hopefully.
And I guess the swimming every day, just because it's the least that it affects your body.
There's no impact really, is it? It's very little impact.
So makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's just for the mind really. It's not even a load of swimming. I swim for like 30 minutes basically, 20-30 minutes, but it's just quite nice to just like, I'm so used to doing a lot of disciplines in a day. This is seems quite restrained at the minute, but like it just keeps you sane also going for us,
Well, it just keeps that consistency going, doesn't it? You've backed off.
Yeah, and no one wants to start. You back it off, but you can't just stop. Like,
Well, as I always say on the podcast, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is a lifestyle completely. Like, and I think if it was warm and sunny out there, I'd probably be cycling as well at the minute. But just because it, like cycling just for a cafe ride or something. But I feel the cold immensely, and I don't really enjoy cycling in the freezing cold.
100%. And finally, what are your short and your long-term goals? Well, we've probably covered your short-term goals. So what's your longer-term goal? What would you like to achieve?
Do you know, that's a really hard one, because I feel like I've nearly got to everything now. I'm too old to get the long-term goals I really wanted to get. I one day might go back to Kona and try and get my little bowl. I was so close. I was minutes off of it this year. I'd quite like to win, as I said, I'd quite like to win gold as World Champs next year. Age group World Champs. I think it's within my capability. So that's really the current situation with goals in mind.
Cool.
Just stay healthy, be able to keep running, cycling, swimming, I can't see my life without it. So I just need to be able to continue to do these things.
Yeah. Well, brilliant. Well, good luck with it all. I'm sure you'll do well. We will see you over in Abu Dhabi.
Awesome.
Mrs. C's a manager of one of the teams, and
is she?
Yeah,
awesome.
And I've qualified for the sprint duathlon. So
you're doing the sprint, okay?
Yeah, duathlon, not triathlon.
The duathlon, okay.
Because like my swimming's not the strongest, so.
The irony is, I keep I was pitched for so long. Why don't you just do duathlon, like worlds that Zofingen worlds? And I was like, the irony for me is because it's more of a challenge doing the triathlon, because the swimming is my weakness. So I was like, I until I've nailed that, I'm going to stick to that, because it seems harder to succeed in for me, because the swim, as you know, is a bit unique and a bit of a bigger challenge. But that's just the way my brain's wired.
No, I get it. I totally get it. It's the hardest. The swim's the hardest part for us non-technical swimmers. It is no two ways about it. Yeah. And that's and that's why I do.
Because you can put your brute force into the other. Yeah. Well, no, you're a more sensible person than me, aren't you?
I'm just not competitive in triathlon.
But you're competitive in duathlon, so you go for that, and you still be part of it, then, can't you?
Exactly. So
awesome.
Well, listen,
so we'll
thank
see
you
you
ever so much for your time this afternoon. Really enjoyed chatting to you. And all I ask is that if you can send me a couple of your favourite race photographs.
Yeah.
Just for promo when this goes out in a fortnight's time. And just if you can spread the word about the podcast that you're going to be on it and on your socials and stuff, that would be great.
I'll share it all out. People can have a little listen, and I'll send you some pictures. Awesome. And awesome. Thanks for your time.
Oh no, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you in Abu Dhabi.
See you then.
All right, take care.
Bye.
And there she goes. Well, that is just a reminder that there is no blueprint to getting into multisport, is there? Let's face it. Depending on your background and depending what your strengths are, you choose your own path to get success in this endurance sport. So like Jo, elite at marathon running, loves the longest stuff, and as she said in her email, running is a superpower. And also what is fascinating, that she does breaststroke for her swims, and it doesn't affect her in any way, shape or form. And that's what she prefers doing, that's what she does. And she can still hit the highest levels. So it's fascinating to see. And it just goes to show that you don't have to look like the perfect triathlete to perform at the highest level. You can just have race integrity, stay curious and keep showing up. And whether you're chasing like the marginal gains or simply just trying to finish stronger than last time, there's something in this story for every age group athlete. And with her success in Kona, it'll be great to see how she fares out in Abu Dhabi next November at the World Championships. So thank you for listening to another episode of our podcast. Really do appreciate it. And if you are an age grouper and you'd like to share your story like Joe's just done, please do get in touch. And you can do that by dropping us an email at the Agegroup Multisport Podcast @gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at amp_podcast. You can drop us a DM there. We're on Facebook at Richard Joseph Conway, and we have our own YouTube, which is AmpGB, and on there you'll find all the other podcasts, you'll find vlogs, you'll find hints and tips for triathletes. So give that a watch, give that a subscribe, and give us some support. That would be great. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. So don't forget, stay safe, keep training, and love the process.